Record. Continue. Valid. We lost David.
We are live and we lost David.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. We're back for the third installment of Come Out, Whoever I Am. This is
Yay.
in celebration of Pride Month and in celebration of our soul purpose.
Nice to be back, Lance, Claudine.
Hello,
Hello.
Oh, I thought I
ladies.
was on mute. Oh, okay. Hi, Lan.
So as we
Hi.
wait for David, maybe we'll say hi to everyone. And the last 2 weeks we've discussed what life is coming from an expressed soul purpose. And and then the week after that, it was about what if you're ready to come out with your soul purpose. This week naman, we'll discuss why we think it's hard to come out.
Yep.
So hello again, I'm Lance. I'm joined by Claudine, Aves, and David will be joining us soon as his internet
Cooperates.
cooperates. Our topic for this week is to discuss why we think it's hard to come out. While we're waiting for David, we want to mention again that we're all members of Soul Purpose Hub.
Yep.
And we'd like to invite everyone to join that group. The past events have been instrumental to us in coming out in terms of doing more of what our soul purpose calls us to do. And there are more events in Soul Purpose Hubs. There's one coming this Saturday, and we hope you can join at the feet of the Master.
Is
So
it
we
this
hope,
Saturday na ba?
yes, it's already this Saturday.
Saturday,
So
Philippine time.
Wow. Okay.
Saturday
Yeah.
morning Philippine time, I think. So
Friday
you
evening.
still have time. You still have time to join SPH so that you can register for that event. Welcome back, David.
We lost
I don't know.
you.
Is it Mercury retrograde again? I don't know.
Still is, right?
Actually, it is.
Oh,
And David is frozen again.
Oh, yeah.
It's wonky.
Here we go. Yeah.
Internet.
Why do you,
Yes.
guys, why do you think it's important to discuss the difficulties that people can encounter in coming out?
So we recognize the signs, especially
Yes.
when we're afraid.
Oh.
Then we can make a choice.
Yeah. Plus, those who really are interested in soul purpose and fulfilling their soul purpose would also be interested in finding out what's ahead of them, what the barriers would be, how difficult it's going to be, in the same way as how fulfilling it will be.
I like the way you put it. At least we're not sugarcoating it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Also, I feel it's important so that to let people know that they're not alone. A lot
That's
of them,
another thing, yes.
something I experienced, I thought I was the only one, but pretty much a lot of people are going through it. I have friends who are going through it. I have close family relations going through it. So it's not a one-time thing. I'm not the only one. Okay.
And maybe it's also because as a collective, there's a coming out. Like the culture is different now.
Yeah.
We're always saying it's a new normal. So what is the new normal? What was the old normal? And what does it imply for us and our true nature? So who wants to start off on the topic? Why do you think it's hard to come out?
Do you want to qualify again what
What's coming out
is about? Because we've been getting private messages, or some of us. Sige na nga si David.
Okay. Okay, let's clarify. Coming out means coming out with our soul purpose. Is it just as challenging as coming out with your sexual preference or with your desired passion, etc.? So we are in the era of coming out, not just for the rainbow community, but for everyone. For everyone. Yes.
Yeah, and I
I love
feel
how you put it.
your soul purpose, we say coming out to your soul purpose. Your soul is the truest expression of yourself. I also believe that your soul is that part of God that's in you. And so that part wants to express itself, wants to live its life. And for it to do that, it needs to feel safe to come out. But the problem
Mm-hmm.
is, you like, for me, I have lived my life um in a way that has helped me cope with my surrounding and my environment. And so now the time comes where I feel there's something inside me that's left unexpressed that wants to come out. And so but then I've been living my life the opposite way. That's why it's so difficult, because for most of my life I was not aware of that parts of me who wants to live its life. Kaya so first, maybe the difficulty is in not being aware that there's something in you
Mm-hmm.
who wants to live its life.
It's also this
Mm-hmm.
feeling of
I feel it.
disquiet. Eh.
Yeah,
You're saying, Dave. Go
like
ahead.
you need to do something. Yeah, like you say it disquiet. You said something about disquiet,
Mhm.
then, or
Yeah.
there's something that wants to. Okay, to it's like you. It's like there's a burp or gas inside you that wants to express itself. I don't know if I can be that graphic, no. And you need to like it has to just come out,
Mm-mm.
or there's this song in my head that needs to be, that LSS syndrome, last song syndrome. You just can't
Mm.
get it out of your head,
OMG.
but it's there, but I just need to sing it. I just need to dance to it. I just need to be true to that rhythm inside, diba?
Yeah, that's true.
The rhythm of the night. Charot.
Yeah, rhythm of the night. You know? So go ahead, Batch.
Yeah,
You want to say something, or what's to go next?
Um, so what are the ways that you feel that you've come out little by little in your life, in your daily life? For me, maybe when I came in first at this job that I had, I was this nicey, nicey, smiley, smiley girl. And then I realized that people have been treating me like a pushover, which I felt was not. But then, of course, I came to a point where I was disappointed. Why are people so bad? Why are they like this? But then I realized that, hey, I have a part of me who can fight for myself, even be a bitch at times. And so there was a coming out of sorts where they saw a part of me who can get angry, a part of me who can shout, and people would be surprised. And maybe that's one of the difficulty, no? Because people don't expect you, but then you still do it.
I think I'm the opposite of you, Lance.
Why?
People don't think I'm nicey nicey.
But actually, no, in different areas of my life, yeah. Some, like, my family would say I'm so sungit, or but then some people would say you're so quiet. So maybe what we're going for is that life where you can be anything.
Yeah.
so we're talking about coming out as many different things in our day-to-day lives now.
We're coming out. Sorry, we want to discuss why it's difficult, why coming out is hard to do, and we want to make it more relatable by giving
Mm,
examples of what are the small things that comes out.
right.
Na not just kasi when we say um I'm coming out as a gay person, as a queer, or I'm coming out as a religious person, as a spiritual
Right.
person. It's so
Big time
big
kaagad.
time.
Mm-mm.
But
Oh,
does it
I
really happen in
see.
one step?
It's not like a
Yeah,
one-time, big-time thing.
hindi
It's
talaga.
not
No, it's not.
always like
Yeah.
that, di ba?
So I
How
see
can
what
we
you
make
mean.
the topic relatable? I mean, how can we make
Yeah,
the topic, you know,
Digestible.
relevant?
Yeah.
yeah. I feel one of the major factors that push at least me in my experience to coming out is the challenges that the situations outside of myself give me.
Mm.
It's almost as if God or the universe tells me, I have been sitting here for too long in my status quo. It's time for you to, to have a challenge.
Mm.
because the challenges are the ones that'll, make me come out in certain ways, in behaviors, shift, you know. So I feel it's also in the situations that, at least me, I am presented to come
Mm.
out to. I'll give an example. For some time, um, I was actually struggling with suppressing a creative streak or creative side in me. It was very prevalent that I really know I'm a very creative person. Okay. However, based on culture and also back then, back in the decades, okay, opportunities for artists weren't exactly that, thriving as we have now. So I had to, like, suppress it, and you do the usual corporate track. You know, the closest I got was in advertising. Okay, fine, great, but still, there were still some things that were not expressed. So I had to come out fully and then own it. I think that's the word, own it. Because I was afraid that, being an artist, etc., where will that get me?
Mm. Mm.
So I had to integrate it into some things of my life.
And that creativity of yours has been helpful in expressing what you're doing now, like in your meditations, you use your artwork in the soul
Yeah,
purpose
yeah,
conversations. Um, yeah.
yeah. All those things that, those skill sets that I have, I found that I actually have a place in sharing things to people.
Mm.
I can actually help, I can relate to people better because of that part of me. I can create ways and means to share certain principles and concepts so that they go, okay, now I understand.
Mm.
See,
Yeah.
so that was my way of coming out, that I had to own a part of myself, and it benefits me and benefits others also.
Mhm, mhm. It's also no.
Interesting.
Yeah.
In my case, this just happened recently for me. Um, even you guys know that reading energy is part of what I do. Okay, and so recently, the classmate and a good friend of my son passed away, and so and it was a tragic passing. He was pretty young, 20. And I was sitting here, I just prayed for him. Maya, I just felt, and he had a message for my son. And so
Yeah.
I
If I had to do that, that would be something.
right. I mean, coming out to other people, not our family, is way easier. But to our own blood and our own kin, it's like, what would they think of me, like cuckoo, woo woo, whatever, it's like. But then it's like, for me, okay, so I just have a message for you. This is what I felt, this is what he said, yada yada yada. And when the friend, one of the sister, actually the sister came over a few days ago, and so I told her, I said, I felt your brother was here one time, and this is what he said. And I said, it was really beautiful. My son was like, just it was like as if it's normal for him. He told the sister of the friend, go ahead, mom, tell her what you told me. And they go, wow. It's as if it's like, so at that point I think I breathed a sigh of relief inside, like, at least my son is probably has accepted, maybe not fully accepted, but at least it's not so bizarre, that I could do it. So that was something, for me. It's I always try to hide that part of me, because what would my family think, or would some people take advantage, etc. So those were the difficult things I had from way back, and actually just recently also. So baby steps.
Yeah, these are the ones that make up the whole journey, right?
The little steps, like, do I tell them, do I not tell them, do I show myself, do I lower the curtain a little bit?
Yeah. I think it's also a fear of shaking status quo in any case, in any coming out, because
Mm.
people are so used to a certain reality.
Mhm.
Okay, coming out might destroy their image of that status quo,
Mhm.
and
True.
people are very attached to their realities, to their perceptions. That if
Mhm.
something, it's like, I call it reality OC. obsessive compulsive to the reality that we have, diba? If
Mm.
something's off just a bit, we're like, oh my God, what's that,
Mm.
right? So for the sake of their OC-ness, we stay in the closet with our sole purpose or whatever, just that they can have their way with their reality. You know? In other words, walang basagan ng trip.
Yeah,
You know,
yung ba yung mga control issue?
yeah, walang basa. How can you? What's walang basagan ng trip?
Basagan ng trip. Ano ba yun?
Yeah. What's that?
Yan ka na naman, dude, pare chong, ah. Walang
Yeah,
basagan.
Chong, pare. What's that? What's the translation, dude, of that, pare?
Actually,
May sapi. Sabihin.
Yes. Disrupting reality. There you go. Disrupting
Yeah.
reality.
don't rain on my parade.
Yes.
Yung
Yun.
walang
You know.
basagan ng trip.
No
We're
bursting of one's bubbles.
Yeah,
The
no
burst
bursting
bubble.
one's bubbles, etc. Because the bursting can actually, it's like a perception that
It's
if
a
I
rude
burst this,
awakening.
yeah, it's if I bust this person's reality
Illusion.
bubble illusion, okay, they're going to lash it out on me.
Mm.
Okay, it's like how dare you be different to what I expect. You know?
Yeah.
So that's one of the fears. There's so much
Yeah.
fear around coming out.
With me, parang sobrang basic yung fear ko. Like, one of the things I've always been hiding is whatever talent I might have, or let's say speaking in public. So there's an opportunity, for instance, in a group of other academics, for instance, there's an opportunity to speak about certain topics that I teach in class. And sobrang galing na galing ako dun sa mga kasama ko na parang, sige, makikinig na lang ako. Parang ganun. But it came to a point that my silence became so loud that I got invited to speak up. And I just said, okay, I'm open to that. But the fear for me is the fear of looking stupid. It brings you back to those moments when, your teacher asked the question in class when you were young, and then you raised your hand and then you give a wrong answer, and then people see you na parang, mali, So that's one. Right? Like that for me, I mean, it might seem normal to some people. I mean, I'm even doing Facebook Live, and it's like people people joining TikTok or doing TikTok or Facebook Live. It might seem normal to them, but coming out with something to say, coming out with a message, coming out with just sharing whatever skill I have, that's a big deal for me. Because it's so much more comfortable to hide. It's so much more comfortable to be, on the learning end. But the truth is, parang I do have something to share. So yun, that's one other thing. Plus one more.
That's one
Just
more.
this morning. Kasi dalawa na eh, to example.
One more.
And this morning, this is something I thought I was really comfortable doing, which is saying I love you to people. Like I with Lance, I say I love you. Claudine, David, I say I love you. But then with my dad this morning, before I left La Union, like Happy Father's Day, thank you, I love you. And when I said I love you, parang, oh my God, sobrang totoo niya, na parang, nakakahiya kasi sobrang totoo, alam mo yun. So that was me also coming out. So there are micro coming out
Coming outs.
that happens every day. And dahil ko naisip bigla na example the moment I spoke up. I was just listening.
Please.
Ano example ko? Like, so I took up boxing recently, and I realized that that's me coming out to me as well, which is, parang I thought I was good. I thought I was moving into like into my senior years quietly.
Ouch.
What senior years? Hello?
I thought I was embracing the old years. Na okay, sige, matanda na ako. I'm turning into an old woman. But then, I realized that my starting working out again is my way of fighting for something that I've wanted, that I wanted before, that I thought I'd given up on, that I still want, which is vitality, which is health. Because I used to be like, like this fit person, right? And then when I was, by this time, siguro mga last year lang, I was like, oh yeah, I'm moving into the old age. I should just live a quiet life. And here I am boxing. So I'm coming out to myself as someone who wants a fit body, someone who wants to feel healthy, yeah, so pinaglalaban. So every day, pinaglalaban ko yung sarili ko sa sarili ko. Yun. I'm coming out to myself every day as well.
That's
Yeah,
really beautiful. Coming out as someone deserving.
I didn't
right.
think of that. Okay,
Yeah.
tama ka
Also,
dyan.
Aves, what you also mentioned is that there's something that you're fighting for, right? So could that be a component that when I come out about something, it's something that I'm fighting for, that I'm defending, not just about me, but maybe something in the community also. Like someone can come out and, example, I think this is an old example by now, the community pantry. That lady, what's her name? Miss Non, is that correct?
Patricia
And
noon.
Patricia Non, yeah, she came out. She came out with this expression of a community pantry, and she kind of rocked the status quo to some degree,
Yep.
right? But she
So
was
simple,
fighting
but
for an
so,
she
yeah.
was fighting for an ideal. She was fighting for a principle,
Mm.
right?
And
And she
I
just
think she
kept on
wasn't,
that.
what was beautiful about that too is like she wasn't even like, she didn't come out with that fighting energy. It was done with so much simplicity and
Simplicity,
authenticity
but it
that it
shook
just,
status quo. It
yeah.
shook the boat a bit, if
Para
you
siyang si
notice.
Frodo, who was like this hobbit. Here we go again. I'm
Yeah,
gonna stop because, yeah. David, baka
yeah.
patulan mo yung Frodo ko. I know how much of a geek you
Oh, it's
are. But
okay. I
yeah.
love Star Wars. Lord of the Rings. Sorry.
But yeah, like it's so simple. Sometimes coming out, the micro coming outs or comings, I don't know what to call it. But the simple ways we come out every day to ourselves or to others, they're really powerful.
Yes.
Because that's how we show up for ourselves and how we show up for other
Like in
people.
relationships, diba? You
Mm,
feel it's the big things, but actually it's the small things that
Yes. Oh my
yeah,
God, I love what you just said.
yeah.
It's the
I,
small things. Na.
that
I,
create the environment.
yeah. Speaking of environment, I think I mentioned before that it's the challenges that make us come out, right?
Sometimes,
Another,
yes.
yeah, another thing that
Sometimes
I'd like,
we're too stubborn that there needs to be a challenge.
exactly. But
A challenge
here,
or a 2x4?
both. Okay, here's a classic example. Okay, J.K. Rowling, the one who wrote Harry Potter series.
Mm.
If you know her story, she had challenges. I think she was struggling with
Yeah, I
financially
think she
and
was filing for bankruptcy when she
bankruptcy.
started.
So she was, I think, at that space of really darkness,
Hmm.
and that's when she started writing. Okay, and the rest is history. You know, so it took those situations and challenges to push her into a corner
Yeah.
and just do it. In my experience, sometimes that's what it needs for me to do. I have to be pushed into a corner where I have no other option but to be sole purpose.
Yeah. So
Yes.
so one of the
Kaka-relate ako dyan.
yeah, you have a story then.
Well, it was many years ago. I don't know if maybe you're not part of the Dili community yet, but I was asked to do the uh, a certain component together with another person, and then during the rehearsal, I didn't know what to do, and I was coming from ego personality, so I couldn't produce what I needed to produce. Apparently, someone nominated me for that job, and probably the person knew that I could do it, but me, I was like, how do I do that? I don't know. And so, long story short, when the event came, I was able to do what I was supposed to do, to the point that, um, it was so good that I started out facing the audience, and then when then the whole thing finished, I was facing the wall.
You were so into it.
I was so into it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
was
So
one
I
of
happy
the
to see
reasons,
that.
yeah. Yeah, Dave.
so I feel that's actually probably a sign based on what Claudine said. It's like perhaps doubt and stubbornness in some cases are some things we have to overcome. Stubbornness that I keep doing the same thing over and over again, not listening to the signs out there until the signs just come in. Really, I can't ignore them anymore. I just have to do it.
Yeah. So can we say that one of the reasons it's hard to come out is we don't have enough self-awareness of
Uh,
our capacity, or maybe our
Confidence,
special
even,
gifts,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's one of them.
confidence.
that
Yeah,
when so much so that sometimes the universe pushes us or puts us in a situation where we don't have a choice but to see it for ourselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Claudine was
though,
nominated by somebody. It means
I
that
wasn't hearing her.
it was evident to some people, but not to
yes,
her.
Yeah. Some
there
people
is
could see it, but I couldn't.
there is a word in Filipino that when it comes to mind. It's called sigurista. You
Yeah.
know what sigurista in
Oh my
English?
gosh, yes.
It's like, I want to be sure. I don't want to fail. It's like it's a sure bet.
It's
There's
actually a
no
form of
risk.
perfectionism, no? I wouldn't bet on myself and I'm until I'm really sure
Yeah,
that
all the bases are covered. You
yeah,
want this to happen.
yeah.
It's like, all. But the thing is, based on what I know about soul purpose, um, it's really about investing and betting on myself. You know, Investing and betting on myself that if I take this path, you know, things are going to happen one way or the other.
Super agree with that. Yeah. I remember this time I was praying. I was asking about clarity on my path, clarity on how to fulfill my soul purpose. And I would just get this nudge of, what do you want? Like, Aves, what do you want, pa? And then I just go back to God and say, what do you want me to do? And then I just got this insight. Like, that no words, just this instant insight that says, if you don't listen to yourself, how can you listen to me? If you can't love yourself, how can you love me? Right.
Loaded
So
yun.
yeah, so it really is. Well, I can't remember what David said, but I know that I was talking about this in support of what David was saying. But yeah, that what you said just really resonated with me because
You
um
bet on yourself. God
yeah,
telling
you
you to
bet
bet
on
on
yourself.
yourself.
It's so much easier to
Yeah.
pray and ask for answers, but the truth is, most of the time, those answers are to be given to us by ourselves, not as in we invent them or the ego invents them, but it takes paying attention to ourselves, into our experiences, to what the situation presents to us.
Mm.
So yeah, we don't divine answers per se. We really
Yeah.
observe who we are and our lives.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Actually, Aves, you also sparked something, I thought, that could also be part of it. Like, it's about growing up. I don't know if this resounds to anyone. Growing up. Okay, what do I mean? Okay, when we're children, things are being given to us. That's why in a lot of our religious services, let's be children so that we will receive, right? But it is when we grow up and be adults, that's when we discern and choose to come out in a certain way, right? So it seems that soul purpose is something to step into out of choice as an adult rather than to be just a child and receive things and, okay, thank you for doing nothing,
So true.
right?
I agree. Yeah. Interesting though, like in my own experience, part of growing up is going back to being a child because there was a time when I was much younger that I didn't overthink yet, and so what I wanted was clear for me. Um, but my personality is that I have to like really analyze my choices before I choose. But and that's so costly, like especially if you try and run a business, ang hirap, magastos talaga. But one thing I realized, I can just really listen to like intuition or instinct
Mm.
on what I want. So sometimes recovering the child is also part of growing up. I don't know why I felt like saying that, but yeah, like there's this
Actually,
matching
that's
that
true.
happens.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's true. It's true. I think being like a child in growing up, and but being like a child is growing into the thought that whatever move we make, that I make, okay, I am supported by divine. I am supported by the universe, as long as it's to unfold or discover my soul purpose. Because I realize that if I just ask for my soul purpose right here and then, give it to me in writing, nice font if you can, there's no responsibility. You get it? There's no ownability for me. There's no responsibility.
Mm.
And I
And
think
that's
that's
why it's
something,
hard.
yeah, and that's why I feel one of the things that soul purpose is hard to come out to in anything
Yeah.
because the responsibility is there.
And it's
But I
all
did care.
yours.
It's mine.
Oh
It's all,
yeah.
I can't blame anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're
Oh,
finally owning that you and God are one. That's like
yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the challenges for me is, diba, when you come out, there's no turning back. It's like a social media post
Ah,
that if you change your mind, maybe you can delete, but there's really no way that you can erase that it happened. People would have seen it already. There will be screenshots of it. And then, so what if I change my mind? What if I'm not all in? Or what if it gets so hard and I want to back out?
but
So,
that's a value.
mm,
Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead, Lance.
So,
mm.
coming out is always, there's always that check, or maybe there's always that unconscious um process where you keep asking yourself, am I sure, am I sure, am I sure? Because once we do this, it's
Sigurista.
out there. Yeah. Mm. And
Or
Sure
I
ka na
grew
ba?
sure
yeah,
ka na
well,
ba? And
here's something that helped me, Lance. Okay, with the because I went through that also. Am I sure? Am I
Mm,
sure? Am I sure?
mm,
Okay, I tell myself, okay, this is what I'm sure of now. Here, right now, this is what I'm sure of. I
mm,
don't know if it's going to be true next week or 3, but I know that I am sure in this moment, ito
mm,
yon.
mm,
Okay, and that's what I can invest in myself in. Okay, because if I say, and that gives me room actually to evolve, to shift and unfold even more rather than, that's it, pansit.
you know, it brings me back to what you said last week, diba? Na when our topic last week is what if you're ready? And last week we
Mm,
said that saying yes to soul purpose. So there are different levels of saying yes. And once you've decided that at this level, I'm a yes man, and this is my sole purpose, anything that supports this, I will do. It actually takes away, it saves you time because you, it's like, the people who are wearing uniforms every day, like
mm,
the founder of Facebook, Sina Steve Jobs. At the beginning of the day, they don't need to dedicate time picking up their clothes so they can dedicate their energy to more important things. So what David was saying last week is that I've already given my commitment that this is my sole purpose, and anything that supports this, I will do. I will add it on my to-do list. And so he just does it, whatever it takes. And then you would think it's difficult, but then there are also payoffs whenever you really start saying yes
yeah.
and commit to that yes.
Mm. It's um it's like this thing about okay, it's a very good example. Like in, I don't know if guys will relate to this. You see your crush from a distance. Okay, you're in high school or in college,
Mm.
and this is the last day of school before the long break. So this is your chance to just ask her anything and just ask if you want to go out or something like
Mm.
that. If I don't do that, I will not forgive myself for the rest of the summer. Even if I look stupid, there's something that you said, okay, you got to do this, come what may. Because in a way, it's like I would rather, I can live with myself looking stupid because I did it. I found the courage to come out and do that, rather than for the rest. And it's a choice between those two feelings.
Yes, yes.
You know,
So that was a
it's
coming out also, di ba? Coming out with your feelings
coming out of your feelings with
to
someone,
this person.
that person, etc., etc. And that's also scary. You know,
Mm. Because there could be
Because of
rejection.
rejection. Yes.
Ay, oo nga.
rejection,
That's what makes it
not just
difficult because you could be
rejection,
rejected.
Ouch yun, ouch.
rejection.
As with
Yeah.
many other things to come out about, diba? Like if you're coming
Oo,
out with your art,
oo.
you can be rejected and criticized.
Yes,
Coming
yes.
out about the truth about yourself.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
That's
that's
what.
why performing in front of Simon Cowell is terrifying,
Yeah.
right?
So that's why we're riding on we're celebrating with the rainbow community for Pride Month, because you really see that there are several parallelisms in terms of coming out with your sexuality, your sexual preference, and coming out as, actually it's the same, no? It's like coming out as who you truly are. That's what we're celebrating here. That's what we want to happen here. Because personally, I feel that once you come out, then you can be free to be your sole purpose. It all
Mm,
leads to being who you truly are.
mm, yeah. It's
And the
like
sole purpose job just follows.
pretty much, it's like seek and you shall find eventually. That's the way I take it. Come out, seek, and you shall find eventually. Because it's for me, it's not a
There's
done
an
deal. It's not. It doesn't stop here. It's like next phase,
That's
next phase,
just,
next phase.
it's like dying to yourself continually.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, here's
It's,
another thing that I come up. Sorry, go ahead, David.
no, no, no. Go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry.
One thing that I realize I'm still coming out about is how I have anxiety until now. Like it's at play in the background. I just learn to manage it better as I get older.
Mm.
I find the need to mention it because we talk about soul purpose and we talk as like I don't want to sound as though, you know, um, I have it all figured out. Especially if there are people here listening to this conversation who experience depression, anxiety, right? You could be on the path of, we could call it maybe evolution or a spiritual path,
Awakening.
awakening, but also have those things be around you as well. And I mean that's a fact for me. Something as simple as, this is so funny, something as simple as suddenly having to go down from the car to 7-Eleven unprepared. It really causes me like huge anxiety. Oh my god, di pa ako nag-ayos ng buhok? Oh my god, I'm not ready. What do I do with my bag? Like, and it sounds so simple for most people.
Yeah.
It actually sounds stupid. But there's this world that comes in where I have no choice and I have to act. I have this internal panic. And I don't think people who don't have, I'm not sure if people who do not have anxiety, especially the bad ones when they really attack, I'm not sure if that's relatable, but if there are people listening who have anxiety, have these
Actually, I can relate to that. Like, I
issues,
feel
yeah,
I should always be ready. Like, even like paying toll fee and like when there
right.
was no easy trip yet, or what do you call that? If I'm not ready, I'm like, why am I not ready? But it's also because I'm judgmental to the person in front of me if they're slow. So I think coming out is a two-way street. Sometimes we know it's hard to come out because we will be judged, because we know if we're on the other end observing another person doing something that's not acceptable to us, we also have that part in us who will judge.
So we're scared to be crucified because we ourselves crucify people every day.
But I can speak for myself,
Yeah.
yes.
Wow.
For me.
Yes. Yes.
Ako
Yes.
din.
Yes.
Ako din.
Yes. We are afraid to be
Agrees.
judged because every day we are judged. Because okay, for me, the fear is that the people who are judging me outside have my face.
Hmm.
I'm pointing fingers at myself.
Oh, it goes back to oneness, no?
Exactly. You're not good enough, etc. You shouldn't be doing this, etc. What are you doing with your life? Blah 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 blah
It's
blah blah
not
blah.
just, it's not just judging someone else, basically it's judging myself and
Mm-mm.
criticizing myself, and
Mm.
sometimes to the point of
Can be your biggest
self-abuse.
critic.
Oh,
Yeah,
I am my harshest critic.
okay.
and
So
and
let's
that's hard to do. I mean, that's hard to, how do you call it? Not attenuate, but that's being kinder to myself is an everyday process.
Yeah, yeah.
so,
So
And
it's
we are
hard to come out because it's
conditioned
a matter of
actually not to be kind to ourselves.
yeah. It's hard to come out because it's a matter of reprogramming oneself.
mm, mm. And
Yeah.
coming
Yeah,
out, that it
unlearning
affects, correct, expectations,
cultural and
norms.
educational norms, etc. Sometimes that's actually the biggest wall. Yeah.
And you know there will be an impact.
And
This is one. your
And you
actions
will
doesn't
meet
end there.
resistance.
Yeah.
You will meet resistance along the way.
Mhm.
Okay.
Whether
So
internally generated or an
Correct.
external resistance, there will be resistance.
why don't we try to recap the different signs that kasi so we gave out examples of why we feel it's hard to come out. So maybe we can recap in a form that's what are the signs that there could be something in you that's wanting to come out. I'll start.
Mhm.
When there's discomfort and when you're starting to judge yourself, there's probably something in you that wants to come out.
Or when I feel butterflies in my stomach, parang it's like inside I know it's the next thing for me to do, and yet there's this resistance because I'm afraid I might be rejected, I might be judged, I might look stupid. So that's one sign for me.
Ikaw, Avis, ladies first. Go.
Uh, when I start over shopping.
That's one. That's one. Tsaka overeating.
And
For me.
overeating and
Oh, thank you for that.
oversleeping.
Thank you for that.
It's a sign that I'm avoiding something. And when I'm avoiding something, I know that there's something that I need to be doing as a matter of, I don't know, like something I owe to myself, something that I should be doing.
Cool, cool.
Over Netflix.
Yeah.
So
That's
guys,
another
check
thing.
out your Lazada and Shopee carts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave.
For me, I feel that in my own experience, because there were a lot of times I felt I wasn't ready. Okay. But in hindsight, I find that those moments when I felt I wasn't ready, those were moments where I could have surrendered. And if I did, I could have probably taken the next step, leap forward, you know. Because you said something, Lance, about I have to be prepared for this, I have to be prepared. But there are times, I'm like that too. But there are times where I feel I'm not prepared. You know, I'm caught with my, my pants down or my whatever, and those in that moment, yeah, I know. In those moments, those are the moments that I feel that surrender was the only option. Surrender and allowing. Yeah.
Thank you guys, allowing. Thank
That's
you,
why
yeah.
that's why at times it's best to just do it and not think, and just think when you're there in the pool already. Okay, how am I gonna swim? It's either you sink or you swim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, Lance.
And take the cues from the intuition connected to the universe. It's like surrender to be guided. Tall order, not easy to do, I have to admit.
Yeah. Actually, tama. Ako, taking action is what cuts the overthinking. It's like thinking about, do I work out or not? You can perpetually think about that or set alarms. Sige, in 2 hours talaga. But then
Talagang
what
talaga.
cuts the talagang talaga. But what cuts the overthinking and the consideration and all the hesitation is just doing it.
do it.
Just do it. Yeah. Not that I am really following that. I'm just saying
I
that's
know.
what works.
Yeah. Maybe that's the
Push yourself.
sign. Okay.
It's like pushing
If
myself into the pool, diba?
Yeah, maybe that's also part of it. If I'm overthinking it, that's the time I should take the first step.
Yeah.
Aray
Diba?
ko, totoo yan.
But yeah, take caution, discern, manage your risks.
Oh, isa pa yan. So it's really
So
a balance.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
balance.
Because I did mention last time, like I do things because I just wanted to to just to do it, pero you can also make mistakes doing that way, but you learn, so you just be
Yeah.
balanced.
Yeah, yeah. And I find that it doesn't have to be a quantum leap forward all the time.
Yeah.
It can be, a few steps, and then
One
save the
step.
quantum leap for Deborah, and then another few steps.
Again,
It
it's
can
the
be that
little
way.
things, right?
It's a little
Whether,
things. It's a little
yeah.
things.
And it really is like whether in love, in weight loss, in in
business?
achieving a goal in business. It's the little things,
Diba,
not the
was it
big ones
Confucius?
always.
Was it Confucius who said the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step?
I
And
only
this
know what Gandalf said.
What? What?
It's
You
the
shall
little
not
acts of
pass. Oh,
kindness.
little acts of
it's
kindness.
it's
You shall
it's
not.
a little act of kindness that the keep that keeps evil at bay or something.
Hmm.
Anyway,
And this Facebook Live is one of our small steps to realizing our soul purpose. And so we thank everyone who's
It's
been
the
listening to
kindness
us.
that keeps.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't hear David.
Oo.
I think it's a good
Mm.
time to wrap up. It's
Yeah,
3:46.
and if you're still scared, okay. So how do we wrap? Do we still mention? We
Sorry,
mentioned
David.
Soul Purpose Hub. Are
We
we
lost you.
mentioning that?
We lost you for a
Oh,
while.
okay.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
I'm back. I was looking for my soul purpose. It was here somewhere, so I found it again. So I'm back.
Yeah. So I want to thank everyone for listening to us, for allowing us to do this small step for us. This is one of the steps we're taking as we try to travel closer to our soul purpose. I think this is a good time to wrap up, and we will have another one next week. Time to promote. So again, we're members
Yes.
of the Soul Purpose Hub, and Soul Purpose Hub is a private group in Facebook. So please search so that you can join the different activities that are coming up. The next one is At the Feet of the Master, which is on Saturday. For me, Soul Purpose Hub is a space where I can explore myself through others. Yan. Oh, okay. Claudine, you have anything to say?
Wow. That was literally catching me off guard.
Oh, the others can go first.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, I can go. Okay, so you can catch me and Claudine and our events that also supports Soul Purpose at Satva Wellness, satvawellness.com. You can go there and you can check out the events that are also aligned to Soul Purpose. And
Oh,
we
yeah.
have some
Preview
fun
coming
events coming up too. Go ahead, then.
You have Akashic preview coming up.
Yeah, we have an Akashic preview coming up, and we have other Akashic events coming up for this month of July 2021.
We're still
So,
in June, right?
yeah, but we're still
June
in
and July.
June,
Okay.
June and July. Yes. Okay, so yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you so much.
yeah.
Thank you, Lance, Aves, and Dave
Aves, you have
for
something to say?
nothing. Just I'm not sure if this is now not mirror image, but yes, join
It
Soul
is.
Purpose Hub.
yeah, can be
The
seen.
next event is at the feet of the master. Yeah,
And
we'll be there.
yeah, and I
Thank
think a nice last words would be if you're still scared of coming out with your soul purpose, hey, welcome to the club. Don't worry, you're not alone. Join the club. Join us here.
Yes. So thank you, everyone. Bye
See
bye.
you next week.
See you next
See you next week,
week.
guys.
Okay.